Episode 3, The Alchemist, A Journey of Dreams and Discovery. Before we step into the story of The Alchemist, it's worth noting something familiar from our previous episodes. The Stoics urged us to live deliberately, to focus on what truly matters, and to navigate life with courage and attention to the present. Paulo Coelho's story is very different in form. It's a fable, not a philosophy treatise, but it explores the same human concerns: purpose, choice, perseverance, and the delicate balance between fate and free will. Just as Marcus Aurelius reflected on what we can control, and Ravelli reminded us of the fleeting nature of time, the Alchemist asks, how do we recognize our own path, and how do we dare to follow it? Paulo Coelho was born in 1947 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, into a world that often felt restrictive. As a young man, he struggled with conventional expectations, personal doubt, and the search for meaning. Coelho himself described a sense of wandering in his early life, trying on different careers, paths, and philosophies before fully committing to writing. His journey, both literal and internal, would later shape The Alchemist. Coelho's own life mirrors the story he tells: encounters with guides, trials that test patience and courage, moments of insight that illuminate what matters most. The book is infused with the authenticity of someone who has sought and wrestled with meaning in a complex and uncertain world. The Alchemist opens in the rolling hills of Andalusia, with Santiago, a young shepherd, living a simple life. He dreams of a treasure lying somewhere beyond his familiar world, and in that dream, he senses a calling, a personal legend. The journey begins not with action, but with a decision. Leaving the comfort of home, Santiago sets out into the unknown, facing deserts, strangers, and the threat of failure. Along the way, he meets mentors and obstacles, each teaching lessons about courage, patience, and discernment. Every encounter mirrors the Stoic principle that life is a sequence of challenges and choices. External events are inherently unpredictable. The desert can be merciless. Thieves can appear. Markets can crash. But the inner journey, how Santiago responds, is where freedom, wisdom, and growth reside. As Santiago travels, he learns that the universe conspires in favor of those who pursue their true path, but only if they listen carefully. This is less about destiny as magic and more about awareness, noticing opportunities, understanding signs, and taking responsibility for one's own action. Along the way, he discovers that the treasure he sought externally is inseparable from his own growth. Each test, each choice, each encounter shapes him. The journey transforms him, teaching patience, resilience, and discernment, the very qualities Stoics championed centuries earlier. Self-mastery, reflection, and acting in harmony with what life presents. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast desert, unsure which path to take. Santiago's courage, attention, and curiosity become his compass. Coelho's narrative teaches that life's treasure is often inseparable from the act of seeking it, the transformation within, not just the reward without. Paulo Coelho's personal story enhances the book's meaning. He experienced exile, uncertainty, and near despair. He understood waiting, risking, and trusting one's inner voice. The Alchemist is not only a story for the young or the naive. It is for anyone who has wondered how to live authentically, how to find meaning in their choices, and how to act courageously in the face of uncertainty. Coelho writes with simplicity, yet his simplicity carries so much depth. The Stoics' subtle exercises in observing life, cultivating virtue, and accepting what cannot be controlled are all in this book. Santiago's desert is both literal and metaphorical, a mirror for every listener's journey. By the end of the story, Santiago finds that the true treasure was never just gold or riches. It was insight, courage, and the clarity that comes from committing to one's path. The external and internal journeys are inseparable, just as Stoics like Marcus Aurelius demonstrated in their lives. Philosophy is inseparable from the act of living. Coelho's story reminds us that life's treasures, whether insight, virtue, or fulfillment, are discovered not through avoidance, but through courageous engagement with the unknown. Next week, I haven't quite decided. I'm considering the story of Abraham, as it in many ways mirrors the story of Santiago, but there's a deeper meaning behind that courageous journey. Or shall we go back to the Stoics themselves and explore the life and writings of Seneca? Let me know your preference in the comments.